Okay, we have a Seeburg 3Wa, and we're going to take it apart and prepare it for washing and cleaning. First thing we're going to do is we're going to hit the lock with a dot of WD-40, key in and open, remove the cover. Okay, we're going to set the cover aside. We'll come back to it later. Now we're going to take a plier, needle nose bent plier. We're going to remove the pages, put them on the side. Okay, now what we want to do is remove all the buttons. Okay, now we'll start here at the left. We slide the plier right onto the center post here and gently pry up on the button once we have it secured. And we continue to do that for the rest of all the buttons. Now what we're doing is we're going to put them in a jar and soak them at least overnight in a solution of all-purpose crud cleaner and OxyClean, and of course water. And we'll let that soak at least overnight, and then use a toothbrush and clean off any excess dirt. Okay, as you can see, there's a clear knack to it. You want to be sure to have it centered, otherwise you could crack the buttons and then we'll be in trouble. Okay, now the next thing we want to do is remove the button shield, and that comes off with 4 screws. So the button shield is going to come off with the removal of these 4 screws, and what I like to do is put the screws back immediately so that we don't end up with a pile of screws of various lengths and have to hunt to find which one goes where. Okay, remove the sockets on both sides. Pull straight up. Now you'll notice there are 2 wires on the button shield right here, and those 2 wires hold this wiring harness up away from the mechanism as it's moving. So when we replace the button shield, it's important to make sure those wires are tucked underneath there. And we're going to set aside all our parts for washing. Okay, the next thing we want to do is remove the coin tray. Set that aside for washing. Okay, now we're going to remove the top casting. Set that aside. Take off the top coin rejector button. Put that in our pile of buttons for soaking overnight. And of course remove the cardboard shield that goes on the light. Okay, now we're going to take a slotted screwdriver, and there are 2 screws holding the slug rejector in place. And the screws are specific to the slug rejector. They hold it in place, but do not hold it firmly in place. The slug rejector has to have a little bit of wiggle room. So we're going to take these out, put them in a separate pile. Now we're going to remove the slug rejector and set that aside for cleaning. Now, we'll go back and remove the top cover for the assembly. And again, replace the 2 screws that hold it in place. And we will set the cover aside for washing. And the bottom piece is missing here. There's normally a cover here with 2 screws that happens to be missing on this unit. Now we're going to go over and take a look at our wafer. Very important, before washing, we're going to polish all the points, just like that. And we're not going to worry about the steel wool coming off and getting caught, because in the washing that will come out. See how nice and shiny the points become? Very important, so that when we do our adjustments, all the electrical pieces, we may want to turn the wheel here so that we can polish all the points. See how they came out? Good. Now this particular box happens to have a plug on the credit unit. Some are wired and some have a plug. This one has a plug, so we will remove the credit unit. The credit unit will be washed separately. And then once washed and dried, we will make all the necessary adjustments. So the plug comes off. There are 2 screws holding in the credit unit. And then the credit unit simply slides out straight up. And we set this aside for cleaning with our other pieces. And again, we'll take our screws, put them back in place so we don't have to hunt for them later. Okay, now it's ready for washing.